Pay to play the game.
No.
Okay.
No. The movie started.
This is a movie?
Well, we're making a movie.
Oh. So you can make this movie with your computer.
Yeah,
Your Surface computer.
Yeah, like the movie's just,
So
I mean, this is not the main way that this is done. I think that normally you do video capture.
Uh-huh.
But I like this because, now if Ada walks by, she's kind of in the movie, and anyone can walk in front of it.
So you can have side conversations going on at the same time.
Yeah, well, the whole idea of this.
It's really good if you have attention deficit disorder, which everybody has now.
Well, no, it's funny. The idea of this movie is that, how you had that job that was really a drag. That was and had to do it late at night, and the only thing that would get me to sit down at it was listening to podcasts.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But they ended up mostly being too distracting.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea of this podcast is that it's, the conversations ends up having a few interesting things that happen in it. Like, so the person.
But you don't have to be riveted to what's being said.
No, if you're riveted to what's being said, the podcast is
a failure.
You can't get anything done if you keep getting drawn back to the video.
In golf, they have this term casual water, which means a puddle from the rain. And if your ball goes, so this is like a casual podcast.
This is a casual.
I love that term, casual
water.
As opposed to more formal water. I guess that would be if you were putting some water in scotch or something, that would be formal. So this is kind of. Does the color stay mostly black and gray?
Yeah, no, it's the world is
a kind of dreary world.
Well, it's
actually it looks like outside.
Hello.
Yeah.
Save some cookies for Santa.
Okay. Oh, you know
that's
what?
a good
I got up
idea.
in the middle of the night and I ate everything.
Yeah, hey, we're making a movie, guys.
I'll say something for
This
you.
is What Is He Doing Down There, episode 9.
Yours and Faye's here. You guys do what you want with them. Here? You hear?
How did you guys sleep?
Goody.
You like that bed? That's just the right size for you guys.
You guys slept so long. It's the day after Christmas.
And Santa came back the next night, and all the presents that weren't open,
Yeah,
he took back. He was really ticked.
He was like, he couldn't believe it that you guys didn't want your presents.
He said,
"Why, you little?"
He did. You're right. You guys are too smart.
All right, guys, I'm gonna pull a big lever,
How?
opening up a secret door.
So have you guys seen this game before? Earth to Ada, Earth to Faye. Have you guys seen this game before?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wasn't so hard to answer, was it?
So this whole game happens in someone's nightmare.
Oh.
The game, they a long time ago discovered a
That's
form of...
that's the way I feel about every video game.
Yeah. No, that's what's great about this video game is it's very conscious of its it's got that kind of postmodern aspect to the story.
Postmodern, you know.
You hate that
The
word.
modern video games were okay, but the postmodern ones are just too post.
All right, so this is a little bit of the lore. All right. So these guys are both hunters. The guy you're talking to hunts other people who have become hunters.
Oh.
Where's
Like a
Mama?
post-hunter.
Yeah, he's a post hunter. But
Where's Mama?
Mom's sleeping.
Can't she get a little bit of a rest? You girls, give her a break. Go in and wake Grandma up.
So a long time ago, they discovered some sort of magic, and that's like what allowed the somehow, I can't find any other industry, and they don't have much technology, but the building is incredibly.
Looks like the weapon has a fair amount of technology.
Yeah. Well, then so they see the barrel folds up.
Go back here. So does this have subtitles because you got the sound off? Or is
Yeah, I always have the subtitles on because you can never hear anything.
Yeah.
Daddy,
Yeah.
when I show this away, could I do that?
Do what?
What the
She wants to see if she can make the characters move and the
Oh.
scene change. Having these subtitles, it reminds me of
No.
I saw Seinfeld about, not the show, but the comedian about 10 years ago. He was
No,
complaining
turn
about
off the.
all these news shows that have scrolls, continual scrolls of
Yeah.
other news stories.
Yeah.
You know? He said, if I wanted to read, I wouldn't be watching TV, would I?
Yeah.
Like that hat. How would you like to have a hat like that, Etta? Huh?
I really like that cape made out of feathers,
Oh, is that what it is? Feathers, huh?
crow feathers.
Crowfish. Wow. So I had my bird feeder out. The birds don't come to the feeder when it's
A
like when
bonfire.
it's dreary like today. Even if it's not raining, they don't come. But if the sun comes out, then they show up at the feeder.
They don't come up when it's raining.
Nah. So the
Now
squirrels
what
will.
do you do when you
So
go
I
to the
saw
bonfire?
a
Warm
bird.
yourself up.
Bird I'd never seen
you
before.
sit down?
I mean, I'm no bird expert, but far from it. But it looked.
Yeah.
It was kind of like just a hint of yellow on its body, and then its wings
Mhm.
had real sharply defined black and white stripes. So I didn't even know how to search for it on the internet, but it turned out it was a goldfinch with its winter
Cool.
appearance.
How do you get back up?
Just air back out of it with this button.
Oh, that fire looks nice.
If you move around.
Can't have a fire today, it's gonna be too hot. You know,
What's it-
Nixon used to go to Camp David in the summer and have a fire in a fireplace because he liked that, and then he would put the air conditioner on.
Jeez.
He was the president of a free world, he could do that
Yeah,
kind of
you
stuff.
can do whatever you want.
Yeah. Go to
Is
Hawaii
your
at
bad guys
Christmas.
up here?
What'd you say?
Is your bad guys up here?
Probably. It might all be cleared out, actually.
I like those flashes from the, does he get two swords?
It transforms.
Oh,
Now
Wow.
you use some magic.
What is that?
Some other kinds of
I
magic.
like the lighting in those shadows, that's pretty good. Or not in the shadows, but in the edge of the shadows.
Yeah, right.
Lighting in the shadows.
Yeah, why not? You can go up to there and look out across the city.
I think it's a bad guy.
Oh, wow, look at that, nice. Is that dawn or is that a fire? This is city
It's
on fire.
dawn. There is a fire. It might be a fire because the place kind of, each place seems like it retains the memories of some of its worst times.
Mhm.
So one of the old parts of the town was burnt down to try and prevent this disease that was spreading through
Oh,
the town.
plague busting attempt.
Yeah, of a plague that turns people into kind of werewolves.
Oh,
Slowly degrades them into more and more beast-like beasts.
wow.
Daddy.
It's hard to imagine that would be possible to make people more beastly.
Yeah, well, but I mean,
This must be a fantasy.
but I mean, here,
Daddy.
yeah. What? Is there something down there? I think we just shot this woman. She's okay though. All right, let's go back to the hunter's dream. I'll talk to it. our only friend in this game. So this isn't even a person. This is a doll.
Oh. But the dog can talk?
Yeah, she's somewhat sentient.
Somewhat
I
sentient?
ate that girl.
So I started telling you this last night, because I really find it interesting. So I was reading this book that had nothing to do, it was about this guy that's made a lot of money by assuming that things that are very unlikely to occur but would be devastating.
Oh yeah, Black Swan.
Yeah, the guy wrote that, but it's a different, this book is.
Talib. Or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, Nassim, I think is his last name is. So, this book is, what the hell is it called now? 'Cause this is the key to.
See, look at this for a second. May you find your worth in the waking world.
Ah,
See,
that's good.
That's a good line. Tell video game
Is
players.
that a doll? Is that a doll?
Yeah. All right. So will you go on?
Oh.
Sorry.
So, I can't
Was
remember.
she talking? Library. It's a library.
And it's a workshop.
I can't remember the name of, let me go get the book so I'll remember the title, because it's
Are you
important.
gonna go back outside?
Should we stay inside?
Yeah.
Read some books.
No. Daddy.
To escape this dreadful hunter's dream, halt the source of the spreading scourge of beasts, lest the night carry on forever. Unfortunately, I think that we're the source.
So this is the book, it's called Anti-Fragile.
Oh, that's a good title.
So, what he means by anti-fragile is not only that you survive some catastrophic event, but that you are better after it.
Uh-huh.
So he says evolution is anti-fragile. I'm not sure that evolution gets better after it.
Well, that's the process.
Well, it just gets different, it's not necessarily better. But
Say that
anyway,
again. Different.
yeah, it's not necessarily better. I think the dinosaurs were doing fine when they were ruling the world. Anyway, so he's talking about this word anti-fragile.
They didn't have the World Trade Organization.
Daddy, what are you supposed
Oh, I'm doing something, yeah.
So anyway, he's got a lot of asides, and he's really got a pretty big ego. So he talks about that there's no word for what he means anti-fragile to be in English.
Uh,
Hey, we don't want to just have you in there, Etta. That's scary.
My head isn't on the screen.
It's not?
It's not.
there was something I wanted to buy, but it doesn't look like I can.
So anyway, he's talking about, so he goes into this long aside about,
Can you make the screen
about
bigger,
words.
Daddy? How do you make the screen bigger?
and he says that if you look up the opposite of fragile in most dictionaries, they say robust, but that's not what he means, because robust basically means you survive the catastrophic event, not that you are better at the end of it.
Huh.
I'm
What about
hungry.
resilient?
Huh?
What about resilient? That still
Nah,
doesn't
I think
have
it's
that.
just, I think you would say, well,
Same thing as
he
robust.
just wants to say he invented this word, you know,
Right.
so counterexamples are not what we're looking for here. So in this aside, he says that, he's talking about how people don't always have words for important things. And he says that the ancient Greeks had no word for the color blue.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is like in Homeric times.
Mm-hmm.
So in both the Iliad and the Odyssey, the sea is always described as wine dark.
Say it again, sorry.
The sea is always described in both of those epic poems as being wine dark. That's the
The
adjective.
wine dark sea.
Doesn't say, never says blue. And
So the sea is more wine dark than blue, right?
well, I don't know.
I guess you're right. Yeah.
The Aegean Sea is pretty spectacularly blue.
Yeah.
So anyway, so he's talking about several people have done research about this,
The sea
and
is like blue, green, gray.
new green grass.
No, blue, green.
Oh, blue green grass.
No, blue, green, gray.
Blue green gray. Oh, okay, yeah,
Green, gray.
yeah. It's not at all at the same time, but if it's stormy, I guess it could be all those colors at the same time.
Blue, green, gray.
So anyway, so somebody has done, several people have done research on this, and so it must be true.
Right.
I'm hungry.
And so
You want
they're
breakfast?
saying that most
we'll
ancient
stop this soon.
languages do not have a word for blue, like ancient Chinese,
I
ancient
see a bad
Japanese.
guy.
It's so strange.
Yeah.
See a bad guy. Can I try? See a bad guy.
Uh-oh.
So is that? Oh, I thought that was another. This is like a. Is that the guy that we were watching
What
earlier?
is magic?
There's a lot of guys,
magic.
as Faye would say, they're twins.
Oh,
Do magic. Dada.
I kind of
Do
did magic.
magic.
I'll do magic against one more guy, and then we'll stop, alright?
He's.
There's a guy right here.
so in the Iliad and the
I see a bad
Odyssey,
guy. See a bad guy.
the words for
See a bad
color
guy,
are
see a
bright
bad guy.
and dark, and they have a word for red, and I think they have a word for
Can I try?
it's for yellow, and that's it.
For
And
red and for yellow?
and bright and dark.
Huh. Not green?
I don't think so, but the other ancient languages, they have a word for green, but this blue is used. The green is used to describe the color blue as well.
Yeah, well, in Japan right now, they say, alright, you can, if when you're driving, you can go, turn blue.
Yeah, that's one of the things. Yeah, they said that the lights are blue-green. The green lights are blue-green in Japan.
Yeah.
So you noticed that, huh?
Well, I mean, they say that, yeah. I mean,
they do
the
say-
lights are exactly the same color.
Oh, they're the same color
Yeah.
as here.
Yeah.
Oh God! Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So, I got there's a guy in the math department who's trying to learn Greek because he wants to read Euclid in the original Greek.
Uh-huh.
And so I asked him, is there any word for blue? And he says, no. He says, one of the grammar books I have talks about that. So then I asked the person in the classics department
I totally ripped him.
if the Greeks have any word for blue. And she said, oh yeah, they do. And it seems like they have words for,
Move the camera around.
like they have a word that we get the word cyan from,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go down
that's what
there.
they call blue, I guess now. And when you're buying ink, the
Yeah,
printer.
cyan, blue, some.
Yeah. So the word that cyan comes from is actually the word for blue cornflowers. It's not a word for blue. It's a word,
for a thing.
something that is blue. And then I'll use it as an adjective, for some other object.
Oh, you better swing at it. Don't just give up at it. You got to start pressing buttons.
So the next question is, for me, if you don't have a word for blue, do you see blue?
Yeah, I've heard that argument. Like, if you don't have words for very many different numbers you conceive of,
Yeah.
very
Yeah, there's a lot of, not a lot, but there's some
Like,
so-called primitive tribes that have 1, 2, and many. That's how they count.
yeah. So like, how do you how does having a new word shape your ability to think something?
Yeah, yeah. So I was texting Julie about this.
Really? You were texting.
Yeah, I was trying to, text. I really hate it though.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
So anyway, I said, "Oh, that's it. Put his pills on the rug."
Why not?
Why not? Get that rug. I wouldn't eat off of that rug. First of all, you'd get gravy all over the rug. So anyway, so I did it in stages. I first told her that apparently there's no word for blue in Greek and then other ancient languages. Then the next text I asked her that question, and then she emails me back, "Are you high?"
That's a great question.
I said, "I don't think so." But this woman that teaches Greek, she said, "Oh yeah, they had word for blue, and they had, that gemstone, I think it's called lapis lazuli."
Yeah. I never know how to say that word.
Yeah. But anyway, you know what I'm talking about. So that's really really a striking shade of blue. So they had a word for that. But again, I don't think they used that word as an adjective for something else that was blue,
You want regular series or
But it's
I find it so strange that like that. What's the explanation for there not being? There's definitely I just don't understand. There's certainly a distinction between blue and green. Though now that I say that, I'm trying to think of where I see that in nature. In
well, you don't
flowers,
see much blue in nature.
in flowers you see more purple, and that's where you're saying they did have a word for blue. Was their word for
Yeah,
color?
Hey, I didn't do anything.
for a particular cornflower that's blue. Yeah, it's kind of, it may be that if color is not that important to you. If your culture just doesn't value color we're obsessed with color. We got 256 shades of color.
More than that. Right?
And they also, when they describe a rainbow, they give it 3 colors. And there's, definitely more than 3, unless all the rainbows are made by a certain weird process. What the hell is that?
That's Dana's phone's timer for me to take my medicine.
Ah, boy, you can't ignore that.
did you take it?
He did take it.
I
All right.
just asked him.
I didn't like your tone.
And are you ready to finish the movie? Oh no, we got a little more time. You guys willing to do about 7 more minutes?
7 more minutes, sure. I can do that stand on my head.
Okay, good.
So I had told a lot of people this story because I think it's really amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And then when this classicist told me, oh, they had words for blue. I said, now instead of sending
Right.
Christmas cards, I got to send out retractions all this week.
I said I didn't want none.
There's some thing I used to say a lot that it turned out not to be the case, and I was like, oh, I can't remember.
But I
what
think
it
this is not it's not settled.
not settled. Yeah, no. And he had been. I mean, it's interesting in some way. It might just be interesting as one of those,
What are you
fake
doing,
facts
Ella? You're making me
that
dizzy.
catches in everyone's minds and is treated as
Yeah, an urban legend.
an urban
Yeah.
legend.
But I think if it was just Greek that didn't have a word for blue, it'd be weird. But if it seems to be a pretty common situation, then it becomes a little more interesting.
Did Greg tell you about the Japanese?
Yeah, he said you go when the lights blow. Because that was a lot of. It seems like just saying blue, having one word for blue and green. In fact, there's a philosopher that's invented the color grue for the way ancient peoples talk about blue and green.
Huh.
But that is weird that They call that blue.
I mean, if you think about what's got to be the most dominant thing for almost everybody, for that kind of color, it's the ocean, where it is kind of a blue-green
Yeah,
all the time.
yeah. They, and one other thing to say, but I'm forgetting what it was now. How did you guys get something to eat already? Did you fix your own cereal? Or did grandma do that for you? Or did mom? Mom did? Well, I'm glad you're not speaking with your mouth full.
And
So Justin knew the history of video games, you know, because he was really into them. You know, the Justin, Julie's former Justin.
what does it mean to know the history of video games?
Well, like, I asked him about the, you know, like Pac-Man and Donkey Kong. I asked him about, you know, did they have a team of people working? He said, no, each of those games, it was basically one guy that did it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, he knows all about the development of that
Yeah,
stuff? That's
yeah.
cool. He used to be a person, so you can see his clothes.
So Dana, you working or?
Yeah, I have an assignment due today that I'm not gonna get done.
Uh-oh. They're gonna fire you?
Maybe, I don't know.
Well, your plate's pretty full. You still?
Well, they also, this is a new kind of thing that they're doing, and they totally did not factor in how much time it's actually.
Yeah, they really.
Oh, they just are. Is it a new boss or?
It's like not a
Yeah,
salary
project.
position at all, but at the same time, it's. You know, like
Well, if you give a deadline,
it's kind of salaried in a way.
well,
you know?
you're expecting people to do something in a certain amount of time.
Yeah, but at the same time you're telling them to charge by the hour.
Yeah.
You're telling them how many hours to charge.
Yeah. Right.
Doesn't seem right in some way. That I'm sure occurs to them too.
So, what kind of cereal do you guys have anyway? What kind is it? Are those Cheerios or are they Unhappios?
Honey Nut.
They're gloomy. They're
Oh, honey.
gloomios.
Okay. Ah,
All right.
if the town's abandoned, what do they mean Hunter's not wanted here?
Well, it's not. It's abandoned by people,
Uh,
but hunters want to come here because
it's about the hunt.
yeah, it's not abandoned by everything.
This
This is old Yarnum. This is the city they burned down.
Look at that bonfire.
I know.
Yeah, that's a bad one.
Why?
Well, see, there's a beast on it.
This was the first barbecue.
Yeah. Not the last. People really things got out of control here. This whole town used to be a big, all these towers they were able
Yeah.
to build,
Yeah.
and they.
See, they're going to build a building in Saudi Arabia that's going to be a kilometer high.
Are you excited to see Leo and Cora today?
A kilometer high?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how tall the tallest. How tall are they right now? The
I
tallest.
don't know.
We were just in New York. We saw, have you heard about those real tall, those kind of needle tower ones?
In New York?
Yeah, Manhattan.
Or these apartments, or?
Mhm.
I think they had something on PBS about building them.
They're like, it's almost like as narrow as an elevator shaft.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Suppose it has spectacular views of other needle towers.
All right, so this is the end of episode 9.
Episode 9.
That's
So I'm gonna make, I'm gonna
Coffee.
try my coffee with espresso, the ancient espresso manufacturer. You want some coffee? Well, you want Gray's coffee or my coffee? What do you want? Make up your mind.
Take one of each.
One of each.